This for my niggas who grabbed a swisher from the quick shop on Mac Vicker and grabbed a pint of the hen from Charlie's Liquor. Stik Figa, man.
Like, if it's just a beat that I want to rap on, all I really care about is fitting in the groove and having something dope to say. Like, I'm not really thinking too hard on it, just trying to come up with clever raps. But when it's like I'm working on an album or something, I have to have some sort of like narrative or direction that it has to go in. Like, what is the thing that I'm going to be talking about the most through the 30 to 50 minutes of this record, and hopefully what can you get from it after you press play on it.
Since 16, so tell him that. Tell him that, sucker, repellent.
Or 24/7 was, which is another reason I went to think. Like, the whole 24/7 record is about a period of time when I was like, 23 or something. You know what I mean? Because all these guys, I know they all look at me like I'm the little guy that used to come around and shit. So the reason I titled it Not Quite Himself is because I think I'm 32 now, and I got wife and kids and like all of this different stuff going on, and the music was kind of reflecting like, alright, like you can rap about from then till now, which was kind of the idea.
My nerdy raps, cause they serving crack, posted with a 30 pack. And I ain't mad, I'm learning to discern the facts where we country, so it's dirty people.
The way that the production, it flowed. Like, it flowed in a way where I could tell that story from beginning to end and circle back around to the past and how it relates to today. So the Not Quite Himself was just kind of saying, I'm not exactly the same guy from that record, however many years ago.
Y'all tell him that. Tell him that. Tell him ain't no telling. We just tell him.
I was a really big fan of Corrupt in the early days. Like, Corrupt was really good with that. And then, of course, like I said, Master Ace, Tretch, Naughty by Nature, guys like that. So I was just like, man, how do I get as much of this to sound crazy?
Actually ask if they have to compete. It's me and Lenny D. Yeah, the sack of that green we using MCs.
Listen to Curtis Mayfield is my favorite musician of all time. It's like him and Prince. It's kind of close because Curtis Mayfield's just always. I even like Curtis. This is blasphemous, I'm sure, to a lot of people, but I always like Curtis Mayfield more than Marvin, because I feel like Curtis Mayfield was always talking about something. Like, that was his main thing, was like social information, not always love songs, you know?
The Impression, cool, man.
Yeah, when he was with The Impression, yeah, exactly.
They had like a serious guy.
Yeah, man, like Curtis Mayfield's the guy, you know? So yeah, that music, blues music, they're from Dermot, Arkansas, like the Arkansas, Mississippi Delta. So, you know, all they listen to is blues for real. That's kind of where I get a lot of my, the way I want to approach music. Because I think blues was like one of the only art forms where it was like so much about your emotions, but not in like a sappy way.
When I first started making beats, I used to listen to like Square Pusher and stuff like that, and like the Montogas and stuff like that. I don't know. So it's equally as much as I listen to like Pete Rock and Premier or Dilla or any other stuff, I was also like into like a lot of electronic stuff at an earlier age. You know what I mean? So definitely like experimenting with different kind of like a lot of different sonics that you wouldn't necessarily hear on traditional hip hop stuff. So. But a lot of early Ninja Tune stuff I was really into back in the day. Like, that was my thing. Like, when I was, you know, a teenager, whatever, Ninja Tune back when they were like at the high water mark and all that.
Without celebrity guests or some sort of long title, so many lies get told, but there is.
This is what happened. Ferrari Shepherd is a dude who's on Twitter a lot. His handle is Stop Being Famous. He talks a lot about racial politics, things like that. One day, he says some wild stuff about Nelson Mandela, about how like Nelson Mandela ain't shit. He didn't do this for black people, he didn't do that. He signed whatever this, whatever that, blah, blah, blah. I say to him on Twitter, what are you doing when you line up what you do versus what Nelson Mandela did? What is your answer to this question I have for you? He's like, fuck you, kick rocks, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's cussing me out. And I'm like, bro, just answer the question. Like, you don't have to cuss me out so we get to war words on Twitter or whatever. And then he blocks me on Twitter. And I had never been blocked on Twitter before because I'm a really nice guy. But I just didn't think it was cool that this dude wasn't willing to have an honest, like, to talk about all the things that he talks about. I didn't think it was cool that he wasn't willing to have a conversation with me. He just blocked me, you know what I mean? And I just wanted to diss him on rap. He's not gonna fight me or write a rap back. Probably won't even hear it. So I was like, what's a Ferrari Shepherd? I'll try to ride Ferrari leather. And it's kind of like, I'm just kind of saying, like, a lot of times people talk all of that, political, revolutionary, Che Guevara shit, but they don't really mean it. Just talking shit. You know what I mean? And I was just kind of saying, like, if the opportunity presented itself, I'm sure he would agree that some Ferrari leather would feel real good on his back. Once he's done lying about how much he cares about Nelson Mandela's efforts in South Africa, somewhere he probably has never been, whatever. I just think it's corny, you know? So that was just kind of
These rappers lack heart, it really ain't hard to tell, but nah, I never chart.
McVicker. McVicker is in Topeka, Kansas. It's an artery. Is that the word? Artery street. In my mind, some people may disagree, but in Topeka, in central Topeka, it separates the better part from the lesser part. And it's kind of like a known thing that if you're driving in central Topeka, you want to stay west of McVicker, east of McVicker. So that's like the main thing that I'm rapping about. Whenever I'm making songs, if they're about personal events or anything, it's about people from or, you know, around east of McVicker. So it's something that if you ain't from Topeka, you probably could care less about. But if you're from Topeka and you're listening, you get it. Like, oh, yeah, you're from Central. It's everything for me. I mean, sometimes I think it's to a fault, you know, because it's like, man, it's all rapping about these towns and these places, but it's like that's where in my memory I'm able to channel those feelings and those stories. It's kind of the same way as when there's certain food and you smell it.
Yes.
And it take you like macaroni and cheese. Like I can always smell mac and cheese and go back to when my mom used to make mac and cheese for me when I was little. Like in like a small apartment in Kentucky somewhere. You know what I mean? Like it's just the way that my brain works. So that's the way that I express what I gotta say.
Leonard DStroy, chill out, adventure.
It's Stik Figa, man. You already know what it is, man.